Diana is considered to be one of the most influential fashion icons of the 20th century. She loved clothes, and the entire world witnessed her style evolution. You can see it here in the exhibition style gallery. Clothes were a passion and a public service for the princess, from her wardrobe requirements as a member of the royal family to the beautiful gowns she wore for galas. When Diana came on the world stage in the early 1980s, her clothes were more traditional and very British. They were comfortable. After all, before marrying Prince Charles, she worked as an aide in a kindergarten classroom. After her marriage, Diana's royal duties often kept her in practical suits. They were her working wardrobe, but over time she started developing a style distinctly her own. She often wore the fashions of British designers like Catherine Walker. She was a favorite. She liked to wear hats. She preferred minimal jewelry. For her field charity work, Diana often wore navy blazers, vests, and white shirts. After Diana's divorce, her style began to change. It's during these last years of her life she really became an international style icon. She started wearing clothes from foreign designers like Versace, Valentino, and Chanel. Her new style was younger, more confident. Even her hair changed slightly into a more sophisticated style. Most will say it's not just what Diana wore, but how she wore it. Her image was about clothes, but also her smile and compassion, demeanor. In 1997, dozens of Diana's dresses sold at a Christie's auction, raising millions of dollars that were donated to various charities. Diana was truly an icon of style, a woman not afraid to use her fashion savvy to benefit her image and benefit others. Amazing. That actually was one of my favorite parts of the exhibition. I feel like I went through and I remember times when she was wearing those dresses, and they brought back memories and they brought back history.
Well, you know, that just shows you what an amazing job that they have done setting up this exhibition, because to have the pictures next to the dresses, so you can really remember what was going on, at what point in history, through the life and the career and the great works that she did when she was wearing each of these individual pieces.
Imagine having to be the person that had to pick which ones would go on display, because they had so many to choose from. You know, a lot have been sold, but a lot are still back with the family, and so they wanted to represent different times of her life and meaningful times when she wore them too.
Right.
I think they did an excellent job with that.
Right, and just how they've taken care of them through the years too. They're in great shape.
Yeah, they look brand new.
It is a great part of the exhibition. Well, Diana, a celebration is being presented by the Daniel and Pamela DeVos Foundation. In fact, it was Pamela DeVos who's responsible for getting the exhibition here to West Michigan.
I got a chance last week to talk to Pamela as we toured the exhibition. She was considered to be one of the most photographed women in the world, and now many people will get a chance to see a side of Princess Diana they've never seen before. We're joined by Pamela DeVos, and Pamela, you were really instrumental in bringing this exhibit to the Grand Rapids Art Museum.
Yes, I was able to see it. I met her brother in Philadelphia, and we had gone through the exhibit. I was with my family, and we were so touched by it. I saw it earlier in London, but I brought my family and some friends to Philadelphia to see what they thought, and everyone loved it. Actually, quite a few of them came out teary-eyed, and we were able to speak with her brother. And I said, is there any way that I can bring this to my hometown? He said, sure. Why don't you know, he pointed to a person to speak to. He gave me his card, and we followed up with it.
That's wonderful. And now, after months, it's here at the Grand Rapids Art Museum. You are a fashion designer, Pamela Rowland, and when you think about Diana, you said that she's been a big influence. The fashion in particular, how has she influenced you?
Well, first of all, she was married 2 weeks before me, so I've always followed her. And back in 81, she was married. She had the puffy sleeve fashion.
Oh, yeah.
And it was so interesting that I happened to have that dress. Obviously, 2 weeks, I already had my dress chosen, but that was the style back in the 80s. And from that, she always had certain styles that I loved. She always, it was a very famous sweater that she wore that had all the white sheep with one black sheep. Well, that became a very famous sweater, and it is one that everyone had to have. But she was just a fashion icon for all the way through her life, and she was someone that definitely we always followed.
In so many ways, I know fashion, philanthropy, she really made her mark upon the world. When people come to see this exhibit at the Grand Rapids Art Museum, what are you hoping that they step away with? It's obviously an experience that you've already had.
I think there's so many things that Tiara is so beautiful, just her life. She was really raised, I mean, she did live in a major estate, but she was raised really just like every normal child with her family. I mean, there was some sadness with divorce and everything, but, you know, I don't think she ever really realized. She always wanted to be a princess, but I don't think she ever really realized she would be. And that's kind of interesting. And also just, first of all, the wedding dress is so much a major part of this exhibit.
Oh, yeah.
So that's really interesting. And really how amazing her death touched everyone. I mean, just there's all the flowers, and there's Elton John's words that he actually scribbled, you know, Candle in the Wind, and the brother's speech where he made little notes. All the originals are here.
That is fantastic. Well, thank you so much for doing this and making it happen, because it's a big time for the Graham, too.
Yes, we're really excited. Very excited about it.
Wonderful. Special Diana exhibit. Come check it out.
What a great story, Rachel. You know, it's interesting because as you look at the life of Pamela DeVos, she's so much like Princess Diana in that charity work and fashion have been two things, specifically charities associated with helping children. And so she's had a great stage to be able to accomplish a lot of great works in her life as well.
That is wonderful. When she was, I just kept thinking and talking to Pamela, and she said that she always had an interest in Lady Diana, Princess Diana. And it's interesting because she actually became a fashion designer a little bit later in her life. It's not something that she pursued right away. And I just thought, you know, she obviously had this connection. And it was something that she ended up building an empire and is known now. Who knows, maybe she would have designed a dress that Princess Diana would have worn had she been alive today.
Yeah, so fantastic. Well, 100 years, 100 works of art. It's more than just Diana right now at the Graham.
Celebrating a century of bringing art to the people of Grand Rapids. We'll take you on that tour next.
And as we celebrate the life of Diana, it's interesting to note she was the first English woman to marry an heir to the throne in 300 years.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Nigel Barker. I'm West.